What's up, Buffer? Turning down my peanut butter toast real quick. Day 14. Let's go, Monster. Going pretty well. Can't really complain. I got some stuff to show off today. Just a couple things. I'm hoping my camera doesn't freeze this time. I did some Googling, and it turns out that maybe with the capture card I'm using, there might be issues with motherboards and their USB controller. And the solution was to update the BIOS. No, the game is tonight, which is why I'm starting to stream early. USA, let's go. Playing against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Play them at 8 o'clock. Mexico did well. England won their game, so England plays against Mexico. And Azteca. I don't see how England can possibly beat Mexico with the way they've been playing. Anyway, flash my motherboard BIOS. It had a BIOS from 2024. I flashed it with one from last month. So I'm hoping the camera stays strong this time. We'll see. Hey, Dow. Trill is currently in the garage. Because that's where he wanted to be. I tried to pull him in, and he's like, nah, I'm sitting. Hey, Jam. How's the music levels? Audio levels. Check 1, 2, 3. Check. We are going strong today. I gotta know. Alright, vertical's working. Okay. There's some music. Alright, cool. So, we left off being mostly done with the Odin Wordle implementation. I spent a couple hours yesterday and today just kind of doing some cleanup and making the project just a little bit more readable. So I pushed up some changes. They should be in GitHub now. Oh, and I think I fixed my broken links on my website, so it should point to the correct GitHub page. We'll see. But before we jump into that, I've got something cool to show everyone. I'm excited about this. I can draw now. I didn't know Excalidraw was a thing until today. Literally like 30 minutes ago. I have This is getting out of hand, honestly. I have 4 monitors plugged into my PC. You might be the only one on YouTube, Svi, just because that's the way the world works for some reason. Oh, that's not true. Dow's on YouTube as well. You guys are just watching different streams. Svi, you're coming in from vertical. Caught you doom scrolling. Don't deny it. We caught you. And then Dow is watching horizontally. I think YouTube's supposed to merge the chats at some point, from what I was reading. We'll see if that happens. I agree. YouTube is much better for viewing. I haven't figured it out yet, but 1440 isn't working for YouTube yet. So I got to get that figured out. I think from the perspective of just like watching video, I think the YouTube playback is significantly better. Now, maybe it's gotten better. Twitch has gotten better over the past year or so, but at least for me personally, I've always enjoyed the YouTube playback features better, but I'm also paying for premium, so maybe that's different. But Twitch definitely seems to have better chat interaction tools and things like that. But yeah, I can now draw, and I can do like blocks of memory. We can now have pointers to the blocks of memory. We can have design discussions. We can write, does anyone remember how to do cursive? Oh no. We can write in cursive as soon as I remember how. I'm trying to remember. Oh, this is bad. I don't remember how to do a capital H. Isn't it like, is that a G? Feels like a G. Oh no. This is how long it's been since I've written. Like, I can do my own signature. Okay. I'll just do a lowercase. Hello. Yeah. There we go. Oh, good. No one could read cursive. We're good. We don't have to worry about it then. LLM is too slow. I saw today, actually, someone was talking about how good GLM 5.2 is, but the problem is you need like a personal supercomputer to run it. But I hear it's really good. But yeah, so I've got essentially 4 monitors on my computer now, including the draw tablet. So if and when we need to do some drawing, we can now draw. I'm kind of excited about that. Now, what will I draw? I don't know. I'm not a drawer. I'm not an artist, you know? So I think for this evening, because I'm going to be hopping off a little early, I want to kind of do a quick review of the Wordle implementation and see if I can knock it out in C++ really quick, like really quick. We'll see. So let's dive in. How's that? Yeah. Okay. So some changes, mainly with cleaning up and organization. So main, I basically took all of the logic and broke it up into a couple of files. We have game.odin, input.odin, letters.odin, and render.odin to handle the drawing. So not a lot changed other than that. So broke it up into functions for rendering, but I mean, most of the code stayed the same, cleaned up a little bit of like error handling and constants, got rid of magic numbers kind of thing. And then the other thing was I created a JSON file to put our words in. So now, oh, and a couple of batch files or build script files, because apparently this is how you're supposed to do it with Odin. Ugh. But I did that. So now I should be able to do something like build web.bat. Oh, and I fixed web. So kind of like I thought, the issue with web and Carl 2D is Carl 2D expects these functions to not take parameters. So I basically had to move the game board outside of passing it through all these functions. I don't know what like the correct way to do this is. So global variable, global non-const variable. Ugh. No make. Make is not for Odin anyway, not that I'm aware of. Just the plain old shell and batch files. We can make an Odin program that builds our program. Well, that will have to be for another day. I did not know that. So simple batch file was what it was. And then because of that, web should work again. And now we can play Wordle. Oh, and I fixed the rendering of the enter and delete. So now I can do this. Okay. Wasn't expecting to start off that poor. Okay. Banjo. Oh. Well, that's a bug. What just happened there? Why did it clear? Oh no. Quilt. All right, we did it. Anyway, moving on. You know what? Moving on. You guys didn't see that. Anyway, it works in the browser now. Works in the browser, and that's been pushed up. That is open source for anyone to fix any bugs if they deem necessary. But I figured if we needed to long term, we would add more words to this, because then I don't need to play Wordle. Will New York Times come after me if I am no longer playing Wordle on stream, but playing my own Wordle, and I call it Wordle? I wonder if that'll be a problem. That's future me problem. But I also... Where is it? Where did I do it? Where did I do it? It's in main. Dang it. Where did I do this? Right here. I did the hashtag load thing. So now we do a hashtag load, and then when we call load word list, it'll just grab it from the embedded word list. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, that is in GitHub. Now I want to try and just really quick knock this out in C++ as a comparison, just to have a side-by-side, and also might be useful for a YouTube video. So, where do we start? I think I start with my CMake cross-platform project. Which I might have locally on my desktop. I do. Oh, I'm not signed in. Dang it. I need to remember to sign in. Oh, I could do the repo stuff later. All right, so let's create a new folder. This one I will call CPP Wordle. I am so original. And then we will open it. Cool. Okay. Then I will grab... I have not ever tried anything but CMake, make, uh, Visual Studio Solution projects, and not by choice, but I think it's like scones, something like that. I just very minimally had to try and build a project that used that. Wasn't a fan. What do I need here? Do I need the whole thing? I think I need the whole thing. All right, I'm gonna copy this. Let's paste it. Oh, is it not gonna let me? Paste. Dang it. New approach. Ninja. Yeah, I mean, I use Ninja now. So I used to be through CMake. I used to do make files and Visual Studio files. Now I use Ninja. That way I am guaranteed I'm using the exact same tools across all the platforms. It just makes life easier. That is a great question, Jan. Are we going to use Raylib? We don't have to. I'm familiar with Raylib. I'm familiar with SDL. Obviously Qt. I've done raw OpenGL. That would probably take a little longer to do just because I'd have to look up a bunch of documentation to remember how to do everything. What else have I done? I've used like 3D libraries like OpenSceneGraph, Ogre 3D. I've tried to use Unreal back in the day. I even did like a course on how to like build a scene with physics, and holy crap. Okay, so I think we're here. So let's rename this CPP Wordle. Now, obviously, this setup's going to be a little more complicated than what we did with Odin CPP, mainly because I've already done all this work, and I'd rather just use it since I have it. Though that might be a bad way to go about this. I'm not sure. Raw Vulcan Wordle. Oh, dear God. I've heard of the Forge. I don't know if I've ever used... Man, I don't know if I've used the Forge. It sounds familiar. But I don't think I've used it. Unreal is a beast. I'm sure, like... I assume everyone has, like, heard of developers struggling with Unreal 5. I think Borderlands 4 was horribly optimized. Like, it's an unreal beast of an engine to use. And you have to think about the fact that, like, these big companies are always firing people, especially like senior people who know how things work and run. And so then you're left with new people who are having to learn these tools, the new tools, and they have to get the job done, right? They don't have time to sit there and figure out the best way to implement things. They just have to get it done, right? So that's, I think, is how you end up with some horrible mess. Okay, what do we got here? Let's call this CPP Wordle. Do 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 do. I mean, I guess Raylib's already here, and I know it'll work. I've already got this project set up to work with Raylib, so unless someone has a good reason for me not to use Raylib, that's probably the similar one-to-one comparison with the Carl 2D implementation. Oh man, what is it? Is it Verse? Are you talking about Verse? Is that what it's called? Is that everything I have to do? I really don't remember. Places like Rad Game Tools. You know, that would be a dream job, I think, for me anyway. Now, obviously, the grass is always greener. You just you won't know unless you're like there or you know it leaks. But I would love to work for Larian's studio, and I've looked, but they're like all over the place except America, so kind of hard for me to do that. I think Canada, they have an office in Canada that's sort of close. The triangle. I think all of this is good. Let's try this, I guess. We'll do debug. Okay. Dependencies are in. And it builds. All right. Let's see if it runs. Okay, this debug console is getting annoying. Oh wait, I didn't. Okay. Everyone see that? I think everyone sees that. All right, so we need to turn this into Wordle. Oh, we need the pets. We got the pets. The pets are back. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the Odin Wordle implementation as well. My vertical viewers, I apologize. You don't get to see this. Actually, even my horizontal viewers, you don't really get to see this either. You're just gonna see this. Yeah. Okay. So I think first off, organization, since I've already put in that cost, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know I want, I should probably do C++ modules as well, right? I'll do CPP modules. Hey, Mr. K, thank you. Do I have this set up for modules? I do. Let's do modules. So we know we have a game. The game is in charge of logic. If we do this right, we should be able to play the game without any visuals. That's the goal. Then we have, what did we call it? Render. Render.ixx. This is a sick beat. Main. Okay, let's start there, I think. And what did we do? We did 1280 by 720. And then we set Oh, I don't have. Okay. The downside to using at least modules, CPP modules, a downside is you do have to kind of get your environment set up for Clang D to find your modules. And the only way for them to really find them is for them to be built. So, there is that. I think the Odin language server just kind of worked out of the box. This does require a little bit of setup to point to the compile commands. So this needs to be like, man, where did I do this? I've done this in a project already. Briarthorn? So this one? Nope, not that one. Where did I do this? Onwin? Yeah, there it is. Onwin. Okay, so we want that. So yeah, I think as long as we point Clang D to our compile commands directory, should be good in theory. In theory. Oh wait, I think I need to restart. Okay, I think it's a little better. Maybe not. Nope, we're here. All right, so set position. How the hell do you set the position of a window? Window position. Oh, would you assume it's called set window position? All right, so we ran into this before. What the answer ended up being 1280 by 360, I think. F7. Boom. All right. One problem down. Clear color. Black. Also to create apps using solely AI. Can you build a business around it? I'm learning Python. Well, that's a great question. I think in the right hands, almost certainly. At least in my experience, limited experience, because I've only been using it for a few months, but limited experience using it professionally. The biggest thing it does for me is it saves time. I'm not really using it to just like generate code the way, like I'm not saying like, hey, make a product, right? I am making a product. I know exactly how I'm going to make the product. So I'm just telling the AI to like, hey, here's like the API interfaces or the test interfaces, and this is the expected behavior, and this is the expected like outputs. Here are the inputs. Here are the edge cases. Here are the negative tests, or like invalid testing, that kind of thing. I give it all of that information, maybe any design patterns that I want it to utilize, and then have it implement. So in that manner, it is saving me a significant amount of time. Stuff that would take me like a week to get done takes me 30 minutes to get done, something like that. It just saves me a lot of typing, honestly. But yeah, don't skip the learning process. You're gonna end up in a bad situation potentially, right? And by that I mean you could end up in a situation where you've essentially vibe coded a product that maybe hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people depend on it, and something breaks and you don't have an answer for them. We don't know what the implications are yet of of causing other people's businesses to fail because your product was vibe coded. You know, so there maybe someday, maybe not, I don't know. But it seems like there could be real world implications eventually if you vibe code too close to the sun. Hey, Vitally, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I come across that too, Carl. If there's if there's good context for it to pull from with like well written code, you can just have it like continue to use that style for sure. And that's kind of how I approach it anyway, is I will provide like the architecture. I will decide the architecture. I will decide the style. I will decide the, any design patterns being used. I will design the interface seams. All I'm having it do is implement. It's not making the design decisions. I've lost track of what I was doing. Oh yeah, game. Let's make sure I can remember how to do a module. I haven't done C++ in like, well, C++ modules I haven't done in a minute. Is it module export module Wordle.game? Again, will New York Times come after me if I define my namespace as like Wordle? I'm sure it's fine, right? I'm going to go ahead and include vector now. I don't know why, but I almost always need vector, so I'm going to include it. Boom. Like this, right? You see that AI autocomplete? I probably needed that. Maybe I did. Actually, nope. I don't really need that right now. I just want to get something in place here so that I can verify. I can do import wordle.game. It did not like that. It did not like that one bit. Oh, duh. Okay. All right. So I already hit a part that I think Odin beats C++ in. I got used to it. You guys just saw this. In Odin, all I have to do is define a file and import it. C++, I have to tell the make system the file exists. And I forgot. And I've been doing this for years, and I just completely forgot. Except modules requires a different syntax. Let me see. This one? Nope. All right, if I was modules, where would I have been implemented? Why is Awin missing a bunch of code on my computer? This. Oh god, Wordle and C? I'd have to relearn C. I haven't done C in... I mean, I literally have only ever done C for school. and then any like interfacing with C APIs. That's about the extent of my C. Okay, that seems to have worked. We now have Wordle.game. Now, game state logic. This is where we had our letters and how to process letters, verify correct guesses, like the size of the game state, like the length of the words that we're processing. What's the cheat code to learning a new language? Practice. Everyone says this, and it's because it's true. You just got to practice and use it. I didn't learn C++ by just reading. I learned C++ by being told I need to solve this problem, and then solving it poorly or not being able to solve it, and then getting chewed out through merge requests or code review, and then rinse and repeat. Now, I didn't have anyone to code review Odin, so I wouldn't say I've really like learned it. I familiarized myself with some of the syntax, and I bet if I let someone in chat take a look at my code with Odin, you would probably find all kinds of things to chew me out for. Just like if you wrote some C++ and had me look at it, maybe there's some knowledge or wisdom I can impart onto you, right? It's just a matter of practicing, sharing knowledge, asking questions, asking good questions, and rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, it's you just got to put in the work. How do I want to do this? Yeah, I'm a big fan of reading other people's open source projects to see how things are done. I've learned a lot by doing that. Where I always have a question of like, man, how am I going to implement this? And then I find a project that does implement it, and it's like, oh, I never considered that. Cool. And really, that's kind of what you have to do if you don't have like a senior developer to sit there and mentor you or anything like that, right? You just got to find ways to learn, read articles, try it, see if you like what you try, or see if there's a reason you don't like and figure out why you don't like it, and see if you can find other solutions to compare against. I think I'll just keep this a struct. I don't want to do anything crazy here. So the game board is going to be made up of a number of rows. So we might do like a row struct, just like I did in the Odin implementation. And what did I do for that? We implemented a guess struct that took a letter and a state. That makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. So let's do that. Enum class, right? We do not do C-style enums. I don't care. You C people, you're allowed to use your C-style enums in C. What was I including? I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, yeah. C standard. Is it int or def? Is it def? I don't remember. Look at this. Okay. I'm looking at this file, and I don't know how much of a headache this is causing people. But I'm so used to it that I'm looking at this like, oh yeah, all of this makes total sense to me. But I realize coming back from Odin, where I'm able to just like right click, go to definition, and look at some Odin code, it probably doesn't look nearly as bad as this. So I acknowledge there might be some things that are a little rough about C++. Okay, no, it was int. All right. Okay. I did want to try. What is this doing? I did want to try maybe looking at making a compile time array that supports indexing via this letter enum, especially since you could do that with Odin. That was really kind of cool, and I don't know if I can do that with C++ or not. Yeah, because I do use letter to index into an array, so that'll be interesting. So let's just grab this. Okay. Is there a way to do this at compile time? The real question is there a way to verify the enums are contiguous starting with 0 at compile time? And that I'm not sure. I guess technically it doesn't need to be contiguous, just as long as we size the array to the largest enum in the list. So maybe I can't do it, but maybe maybe the magic enum reflection library can do it. That'd be kind of cool. We don't have C++ reflection yet, so we wouldn't be able to do it ourselves. Box 3D as opposed to box 2D? Is there a 3D physics now from box? Or did you just mean 2D? I haven't kept up. I want to try this. Let's create a enum array.ixx. Is there a concept for enumerations? I don't think there is. I think I just need to make it myself. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh man, I'm curious. Box 3D physics. Oh, you're not joking. Literally just came out. Holy shit. That's why I've never heard of it. Happy to announce release of Box 3D open source physics engine. It is now available on GitHub. There's a repo. You can think of it as a fork of Box 2D extended with many features needed for 3D games, some additions, triangle mesh collision, height field collision, baked compound collision, C API, SIMD. That's kind of awesome. Multi-threading hooks. Oh my god. Holy shit. Problem with native Unreal physics. In 2015, developed a 10-line drop-in algorithm for adding gyroscopic torques to any physics engine and presented it at the Game Developer Conference. So I could have easily added this feature to the Chaos Solver. Epic added this feature in late 24. However, that was not my biggest problem. Being a survival game, one of the first things I worked on was chopping down trees. The falling trees moved erratically. Has anyone else played like survival crafting games and have run into this all the time? Like all the time. And so anytime I find a game that manages to implement a well falling tree that doesn't like sit there and kill you is freaking awesome. So this is interesting. Teleporting around the screen, my best guess is that Chaos was using some sort of continuous collision fallback. This simulation was a large capsule falling on a smooth triangle mesh. Another factor, Legend of California, you need to manage a lot of entities, hundreds of thousands of entities. I have a lot of experience working on broad phase data structures. I even did a GDC. This is cool. This guy knows what he's doing, doesn't he? So we reached a pivot point with our physics. All these factors were added up and I needed to make a decision. Try to fix the native solution or replace it with an outside physics engine. I was considering using an existing open source physics engine, such as Jolt. Isn't this what Godot uses? Is it Jolt or Bullet? Being a physics programmer, I was pretty confident that I could at least fork Jolt and get the outcomes we need for our game. However, a good friend suggested another course of action. Valve to the rescue. My friend Dirk is an accomplished physics programmer, having shipped a custom physics engine in Half-Life. Oh my god. Okay. He just happens to have a friend who wrote the physics in Half-Life. No big deal. Dirk maintains a hobby home version of Rubicon. Let's call it Rubicon Lite. He suggested that I could fork Rubicon Lite and modify it to my needs. So that's what I did. I hooked Rubicon Lite directly into Unreal. It worked great. We got gyroscopic torques and trees fell nicely. Everything just worked. The topic of replacing the physics engine in Unreal is likely a whole blog post on its own. Rocket League did this. I didn't realize this, but Rocket League did this. For those who don't know, I'm a huge Rocket League fan. Love the game. I have thousands of hours in it. And I just recently learned that Rocket League is Bullet 3D. It's the Bullet physics engine. I didn't know that. Was able to make a few shortcuts. Box 2D version 3 had many optimizations I wanted to bring into my Rubicon Lite fork. At some point I realized I needed to keep my 2D, 3D physics efforts as similar as possible for efficiency and sanity. So I replaced almost all the APIs, data structures, algorithms in Rubicon Lite with Box 2D code. Fortunately, the data structures for 2D and 3D are largely indifferent to spatial dimensions. Eventually, my Rubicon fork transformed into 3D. Today, Box 3D still has some Rubicon Lite code in it, convex hull generation, and some collision algorithms. The rest is code from 2D and new code I wrote for 3D. On the Valve side, Rubicon continues to evolve, and Dirk has developed optimizations similar to those in 3D, and a new engine called Ragnarok. Ooh. Look for that in future Valve games. Oh, is this Half-Life 3 mentioned? Do we have is Half-Life 3 coming? I'll be honest, I've never played them, but I am very aware of the memes. Custom is better. Okay, so this is awesome. Reason 2, sustaining knowledge. Why use Box 3D? Getting started. Who is using Box 3D? All kinds of people are using it. What is the future? This is cool. Yeah, so this is definitely like if you're looking to learn, stuff like this is how you would do it, right? And it's not just like, don't go in here and just start clicking. Clone it, build it, try something with it, figure out why what you tried isn't working, and then read the code. I mean, okay, guys. I think I've talked about this before, but we've got CMake presets, we've got Clang format, we have CMake. Like, this guy knows what he's doing, right? Turns out, knows what he's doing. This was just announced, and it's already at 873 stars. So this must have been in development. It's just that it, what? Did we get like an official release? Is that what happened? Yeah, initial release was yesterday. Build.bat. Oh no. I mean, wait, what is, oh, it just calls CMake. So it's funny because he also has CMake presets, so you don't even need build.bat anymore, but I'm sure there's a reason they still have this. I'm sure. No, that's awesome. That was a good little tangent. I did not realize that was a thing. Is this right? Yeah, this only works. This isn't really what I wanted. I want it to be automagical. I'm gonna try something. Odin project is still live and well. It's in GitHub. Check it out. Where is it? Where is it? Wait for it. Wait for it. Boop. Check it out. We got quilt. Nope. Banjo. Nope. Eagle. We got two E's. Two E's. And a T. Meats. Boom. Got it. New game. Not only that, but we can, I'm going to move this over here so you guys can see. We can go and open up index.html and play it in here. Eagle. Oh, I got it in two. New game. Banjo. Nope. Okay. Meats. Two E's. See? And then we also can add additional words, start building this list up to make it more difficult to figure out. And, you know, if I kept playing with this, then we would have options to expand how big the word can be and how many attempts you're allowed to have. We can do all kinds of stuff with this, right? At some point, I gotta cut it off and move on. So what we're doing right now is getting this implemented in C++ as well. Odin's awesome. I enjoy Odin. I kind of talked about this excuse me. What was today? Wednesday? Monday. I think I talked about this Monday. My issues that I have had with developing in Odin, I don't think had anything to do with Odin. Odin's awesome. I enjoyed it very much. My issues are more just not being familiar or comfortable with procedural development. I'm a object-oriented developer almost through and through. So just a different way of thinking about writing code. All right, I have magic enum. So now the question is there a way I can do... I basically need to do like a static assert. Oh, man. I need a way to guarantee the enumerations are contiguous at compile time. And I don't know if I have a way to do that. I love this song. Have you guys seen the music video of this song? It is freaking insane. You know what? This will be good enough for now. We'll just get index out of bounds errors and deal with it. In fact, you know what? I'll deal with it right now. Watch this. Try catch everything, return exit failure. There. Index out of bound errors handled. That was easy. Ooh, can I assert it here, actually? I need to do, like, static assert. Count is greater than 0. I swear there's, like... We have enum value, enum count. Type name. It's just unbelievable. It is so not lost on me browsing a template heavy library compared to like looking at Odin code. All right, be honest, everyone here, be honest. Who can read what this function does? So we decay the type, right? So that removes your like reference qualifiers. You get the underlying type of D. So this grabs essentially like what the integer type is of your enumeration. Then there's this template at compile time that is predefined somewhere else under the detail namespace with an overload for true and false. Same for sparse. Decay is something fruits do. Code should not decay, only fruit. This is obviously a gross C-style macro. Poor code base. Everything looked great until I came across this line. Now I'm grossed out. This is obviously the compile time for resolving a const expr storage. So if we like when I moused over this, we see values v dot size. That tells me that these enumerations are being stored in a compile time array. Enum value, so we're just casting it's iterating over the enums, casting it to the value and verifying it's the actual value. Oh, this is to return the index. Oh, yeah, that's what it's doing. So at compile time, it's literally just iterating over the compile time array for the enum, and whichever value it matches, that's its index. So it's just doing an O of N search at compile time, which is kind of cool. This right here, I need to do this, but I need to like static assert it somehow. So I can static assert that min and max is... Well, I need... Okay, wait. I need to static assert that the min value is 0 or greater, And then I need to assert that the max, or not assert, I need to use the max to allocate the array. So I don't really need, I guess that's fine. So I need to do like static assert magic enum. Does it give you access to like max? Oh God. Guys, there's no way you're gonna force me become the Wordle streamer, okay? I do more than just Wordle, I swear. This isn't working. Right here. What's this? This is what I need. Max V. Is it only under the detail namespace? Max V. All I'll ever be known for is Wordle and Pong. Ina Max. Is it Max? Ina. What is that under? Trying to see if, yeah, see, okay, so this is something I'm not a fan of. This library doesn't use nested formatting, so it's hard for me to like track down which namespace scope we're currently in. So we're under magic enum, customize, detail. So it is under detail, so I need that. I need magic enum, detail, max V, range max. Subtype S. What the hell? What in tarnations? The hell's subtype? Is sparse. Oh, maybe this is what I need. What is sparse doing? If the count is 0, it is not sparse. It is only sparse if range size is not equal to the count. This might be what I need. Is sparse. That would actually save me a lot. Static assert magic enum is sparse. Is that in the right namespace? I don't know why I went to definition. I'm literally at the definition. Why did I go to the definition? Might be under detail. Yeah, there we go. I have not tried vector math and Odin. Nope. I didn't do a lot. The only thing I really did with Odin was just Wordle, honestly. It was this. I did this. I wasn't going to get too involved with it because that would just take a lot more time and effort. And I just wanted to kind of try it out. Okay. So I think this will work. This will be a enum array that I can use to index into with type safe enumerations, just like Odin. What all do I need though? I need to open all this up. I don't really need everything. What all was I using? Keyboard state. What was I using? I was using it to index into, assign, which I have here. I mean, I need a size to check for. A size and an empty. Yep, I need the iterators as well, so I can do range 4 iteration. But I also need empty. Oh. Data identifier not found. Oh, is it not like... Can I just do this? Yeah. It's a template class. It'll resolve to the type it needs to. I also wonder if I can... I've never had to do this before, but I've seen people do this. I don't remember... Okay, we'll try that. I've never used that before. Oh. Everyone's texting me right now. Okay. Okay. So we've got iterators for range 4 loops and ST algorithms. Empty size for checking before indexing. I think that's a good starting point. So let's see if I can use it. Import module enum array. And then my game state is gonna have a what do I call it? Keyboard? An array of oh, wait a minute. This is like more of a map? Oh, I know what I did wrong. I need the enum to decide the size. But this is a different type. That could be anything. So I need, how do I want to write that? Could not deduce template argument for S. Crap. What is this enum subtype? Is sparse value V. Okay, is sparse value. That's what I want to do. Is sparse value. Is sparse V. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, what's happening? No. All right, closer. Term does not evaluate to a function taking a 0 arguments. Monster mule? What is monster mule? I love mules. All right, how is this being used? Am I using this wrong? Oh, it's not a function. Wait a minute. I know that. It's like this. Static assert failed. Enum array requires a sparse enum. Oh no, I want it to not be sparse. So I need to do equals false. This only works if the array or if the enumeration is contiguous. So to verify that actually is true, let's do letter. Let's do like if none is 0, let's set a equal to 10. And if that's right, this should fail to compile. Static assertion failed. Enum array requires a sparse enum type. Actually, we could probably do this even better. Can I make this a requirement, like part of the concept? So instead of like type enum, it's like I think I can do like this. And this. That work? Enum array, the associated constraints are not satisfied. So then if I get rid of this, boom. Oh, we're cooking. We're getting somewhere. Well, if that's the case, I can make this part of the requirement as well. And this will all be compile time. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay. That. Let's get rid of this. Concepts for the win. Okay. So this this is kind of cool. Now I have a extremely type safe enum array. I can pass in, or I can index with letter to access. This is almost like a map, but much quicker. I've never thought to implement something like this before. Odin gave me this idea. Yeah, there is a price to pay for being a language created like what, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. You didn't have access to the knowledge of years of pain that we have now. But the cool thing is, I get the same feature that Odin provides out of the box. That's all I had to do. Okay, so that's going to be our keyboard state. What else we got? What else we got? Messages. All right. Now this, I'm sorry guys for all you procedural people out there. This is the way. Check this out. This is gonna be unbelievable. Boom. I'm done. I don't have to write any more code to make sure I can allocate a dynamic array of strings. It's just there. It's like, it's done, right? I know some of you guys really like to make your code verbose, he says, having just done this. But that's so much easier. Come on. I know you get asked this question every day. Really like C++. Ever hear the language? Full. You have to take in the context of what everywhere means to you. If everywhere for you is the internet and talking heads and influencers, then yeah, C++ is old and outdated. But if you want to get paid to write software, you can do it with C++. I'm doing it. A lot of people around me are doing it. It's not going anywhere. I do think there is plenty of room for other languages, and maybe someday C++ will evolve. Well, C++ is always evolving, right? We've got 26 coming out now, which is going to finally provide some default behaviors that people have been crying for. Things are going to change, right? I can't predict the future, but I can tell you at least right now, C++ isn't going anywhere. Honestly, C++ will probably never go anywhere because it provides you the hardware level, or like performance hardware level abilities of C, but with the convenience of object-oriented. A lot of people hate on object-oriented, right? But you cannot deny, I just wrote a dynamic list of strings on a single line, and there's no other code I have to write to make that work. I don't know if I would call that like a benefit of object-oriented, though. That's just C++. It's not going anywhere. It's too beneficial, and it's everywhere. It's just like C, right? C is not going anywhere. Not in a long time. Now, I do wonder, the only time I could potentially see the end of like C or C++ is if we start seeing Linux completely, and I don't mean like I know Linux has started adding Rust to its implementation, I think, from what I read. But until we see the day that just like completely takes over or something, like C is the backbone of the modern software world. I have watched Casey. That name sounds familiar. I think I've seen some of his talks on object-oriented. Now, the downside to how big and flexible C++ is yeah, you have like 100 million different ways to solve the same problem, right? You just watched me write a wrapper around a stack array in order to achieve a type-safe array. Now, would some argue Why not just use a C enum with a regular old C array, right? There's so many ways to solve the same problem. And I don't deny that that's an issue with C++. But because of that, when you have someone who talks about how bad C++ is, and it turns out they've only used C++ for a couple of years on a single team or at a single company, so their perspective of C++ isn't the same as someone else's. And so they may have had an extremely bad experience, right? And I don't fault them. I have seen some really bad C++ code out in the world. Like, really bad. Oh, you're probably going to see really bad C++ code I write, It's just the nature of C++ because of how big and how flexible it is you're just eventually going to hit that. Now, there's nothing stopping a code base or a project or a team to say, hey, screw that. We're going to do C with classes, right? So let's write procedural code, but with the benefits of I get a vector of strings, or the benefit of some of the algorithms, right? And you don't have to do objects. You don't have to do polymorphism. But you get the benefit of type safety. You're not having to stress about passing a void pointer around all over the place. You get to do standard any, things like that. Having worked on different teams, different companies, led a couple of teams, I just, for me, I'll caveat, for me, the benefits of some of the things I get from C++ to ensure code is written, it's going to sound crazy, but code is written safely and correctly compared to less type safe code. I don't know. At least for me, C++ is here to stay. He says as he makes a game using Dart and Flutter. Look, I say, and everyone's situation is going to be different. Where you live is probably going to make a huge difference as well, right? The industry that you're around, it's kind of on you to figure out where the jobs are at and if C++ would be a language to learn and be paid to do. I mean, my C++ was kind of happenstance, right? I went to school. I happened to take computer science classes that was taught using C++. I happened to seek out an internship, and it just so happened to also be C++, and now I'm doing C++ because that's where the work was in my area, right? Maybe there's... I know Rust is showing up. I have worked beside some developers with Rust. I've actually integrated some Rust libraries into a C++ project. So I do see Rust now starting to pick up. I don't know where things are going to be in 10 years. I mean, honestly, guys, with the way AI and LLMs are going, how close are we to no longer writing languages and just like prompt engineering? I mean, that's not really going away. But it is interesting. The coolest thing about this job in general, and the coolest thing about software development, is just seeing how technology evolves over time. I've always enjoyed that. I've always enjoyed learning the new stuff and seeing what's going to happen with it. So at least for me, that's not going to change. Yeah, we're gonna possibly be programming in English. I've never thought about that. Are LLMs, can they be prompted in different languages? Okay. All right. Yeah, I've never really thought about that. No, I've seen some bad object orientedness, right? But I've seen some pretty good ones too. There's good ways to do it. There's some pretty cool design patterns you can make use of for object oriented programming. But just like me, who struggled with Odin and procedural programming, I wouldn't expect someone who's only done like a year or two on a team doing object oriented programming to be like, oh yeah, object oriented programming is the best, right? Especially if they are more comfortable with C programming. I say do what you enjoy, right? Whatever makes it easier for you and for you to understand. I mean, that's where it's at. Um, I wouldn't learn Rust because it fixes memory problems. If you are learning C++ today, you're not going to have memory problems. It's the same thing with Rust, right? The only difference is Rust, you opt into the memory problems. C++, you have to what is it? You have to opt out of the memory problems. So you just have to make correct decisions early on, whereas Rust, I think you have to choose to make bad decisions. So that's like the big difference. Is Rust comes with stuff turned on by default. C++, you get a fully loaded foot gun in your hand, which I know I'm getting texts about the Belgium Senegal game because the result of this game, if USA wins tonight, the result of this game is who we will play against. Uh, let's see. Dynamic messages, max guesses. Okay. So I think I'll just do a static const expr auto max guesses equals. How many guesses are there in Wordle? 6? Something like that. And then we need a row type, which is our word length. So we got word length. So then a row is a how do I want to do this? A row is an array of guessed letters, which is letter state and letter. So I guess I'll do struct guess. Oh my god, my phone's blowing up. What's happening out there, guys? Okay. I'm missing the game. I have a little experience in commercial development, but it's pretty hard to find a job in my region because everywhere they want to. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know what to do about that. I will don't I would almost say don't take advice on from me about what it takes to find a job because the world is different, obviously. It is a lot easier for me to find a C++ job because of how much C++ experience I have. And like I said, it depends on your area. The area I'm in, there is still a strong need for C++ engineers. I can't speak to anyone else's area, unfortunately. I don't know if I have any good advice other than do your best to on your resumes and in your interviews to show that you are capable of general problem solving. Get those interviews. Even if you do bad, do them anyway. You need to get better at talking and communicating. When I had Jamal on here, I helped him get a job. And I literally just sat and told him the same stuff I told you guys. You just need to be, you need to get good at speaking your thoughts aloud, being clear with what you're thinking, how you're going about solving a problem. Communication is very important during these interviews, not necessarily getting the answers perfectly correct, but being able to walk through your thought process so someone can follow what you're doing. Right? Finding a mentor, I know that's tough. Finding a mentor, someone who can give you like one-on-one advice, code review is huge. Me personally, code review is like a really strong way to get that experience. It helps with like back and forth and someone providing explanation as to why you should be thinking or writing the way you're writing, that kind of thing. Even like I had an interview not too long ago actually for when was this? I think it was in November, December of last year. And I would say I didn't do that great of a job solving like leak code problems. I would say I'm not a very good leak code solver, right? Like obviously easy, not a problem. I think there's like medium and hard. Medium might take me a little bit of time. Hard I can solve, but like under the pressure of someone staring at you and you know you've got 30 minutes on the clock to figure this out, no way. I'm not that good. I am not like a super developer, right? I don't come up with solutions on the spot. That's not how, at least for me, that's not how software engineering works. So I don't think I did that good, but I still got a job offer. I still a decent job offer, and they still wanted me because I'm communicating. Just like I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I'm doing this exact same thing in an interview. I'm not leaving large gaps of silence. My head isn't down. I'm not like keeping to myself. I'm vocalizing. I'm talking. I'm asking questions. Asking questions is huge. Clarifications on requirements. Things like that. That goes a long way. Yeah. Guess. Okay, so we have a guess. So I think I need to move this out. Probably just put this up here. Now, definitely improving your solve skills. That's for sure. Regardless of anything else, improve it. And it's easier said than done because I am very much a introvert. So like it's tough, right? Getting in front of people, like being open versus keeping everything in. That's tough. Obviously, you still need to know some stuff, right? You can't just show up to a software development interview, and then not know anything. Like if I showed up to a Odin interview, I would not expect to get hired. I mean, I know general problem solving. Like maybe I could convince them to hire me. But I would show up with more knowledge than I have shown here. I would have practiced more. I would implement different solutions personally just to get familiar with it. But you definitely need to like show up knowing some stuff. For me, if I'm like interviewing someone, a small project would go a long way, because you'd be surprised how often that doesn't happen. Someone shows up and I'm like, "Hey, do you have anything to show me that you were like interested in this? Like why are you doing this? What's attracting you to C++?" It's like, "Oh, money. Cool. So what did you do to work towards making money?" I'm here, aren't I? That's not good enough, right? There's got to be some kind of effort. Money, power, and glory. That's like I used to joke during man, what are they called? You know how you have like annual reviews for a company, and it's like, "Hey, what's your goals for the year?" My goal is to make more money and not get fired. No, the type is guess. Yeah, there we go. Absolutely full. I mean, yeah, at this point in my career, Jan, my goal is the same. The more I can delegate, the more successful I'm being, right? Like, why do I have to write code when I can just make my intern write code? Row guesses. And then I need max guesses. Oh, I did that wrong. Row max guess. And I don't remember. We had a size object. What did we use that for? That's for like the key? No. That's the tile size. Okay. Standard. Hey Python, how's it going? I see you. Tile size, spacing. Active row. Uh I've gone on tangents today, so I'm not getting this done. Hi, Python. I am... I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of your language. I am not a fan of your language. Active row. Builder. Oh, I don't need a string builder. Ooh, elapsed time. We need... Chrono. Hmm. Founder of Greek root. Oh, okay. You got me there. I could compile my Odin. I guess that's not something we explored, but I assume Odin will allow you to link it as a C ABI. Oh, we could do something crazy. We do Odin backend. What do I use the front end for? I could do Odin backend, and then I could import it into Flutter and use that as my front end. We can go crazy with this. I'm not really liking how I'm doing this. I'm just kind of copying and pasting right now. So I think maybe I copy and paste and then I refactor this a little and just try and get some functionality going. So we have tile size, max guesses is 6 rows. A row is made up of 5 letters. A guess is a letter. Okay, yep. This is probably enough to get our grid rendering, I think. So let's do that. Now, I do know we'll eventually want to reset the game. So what's the best way to do that? Could use an optional instead of a pointer. Keep it on the stack. Do I want to use a pointer? Nah. Just leave it alone for now. Okay. Rectangle drawing time. It's rectangle time. And I know I want to base it off of, let's see, where do we actually do the drawing? We do the drawing here. So we want to loop over our row game dot rows. Oh, I mean, okay. This is auto completed, so I'm not feeling confident, especially since it did a +10 here, and didn't use my spacing, which it should have done. Yeah, I don't even know what this is gonna draw. This isn't gonna be anything. This is gonna be a nightmare. It doesn't even compile. Oh, right. We can't do this. Cannot export symbol because it has internal linkage. Holy wall of text. Why does it why does it think guess has an X and a Y? Oh my god. Let's do. Actually, I don't know what type this takes. Does it take a float or an int? Draw rectangle. Takes a integer, position, width, height. Except that's going to be a filled rectangle. I need like a draw rectangle outline? No? All right, Python. You got to relax. You're spamming way too much. All right. So there's rectangle. Gradient lines, rounded lines. I'm assuming lines is what I want, but there's no thickness. Oh, wait. Right here. Draw rectangles, lines, EX. That's what I want. Okay. So I think that's still going to take a integer, right? What is a rectangle? No, it takes a float. Okay, that changes things. So we're going to need a float X, a float Y. In fact, I think Y is going to be game.spacing. And then I need to get window. The one downside to using modules is the language server stuff just does not play as nice. Who's singing? It's a great question. Within Temptation. I do like me some Within Temptation. Hey Zal, how's it going? We're just getting my Odin Wordle implementation up and running using a little bit of C++, just so I could do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison. Are you serious? Did I? Okay, there we go. New game. Meats. Ooh, 2 E's. Heave. Eagle. There we go. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're doing that, and we're just kind of hanging out and talking programming. Oh, they're in penalty shootouts? Are you kidding me? I'm stuck here with you guys. Get window position. I mean, can I? No, I shouldn't. But could I? Nah, I probably shouldn't. Let's see. Get position. Okay. So then we say x equals auto x equals the screen size dot x minus, ooh, what is my board width? That's a great question. We need a board width. Const auto board width widget, whoops, width equals it's going to be our tiles. Oh, yeah. This. It's going to be our tile size times the length of the word plus spacing -1. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. So then our rectangle becomes this. So then I can, oh, I mean, if it's gonna, oh, what's happening? What's happening? Roller coaster of a game. Okay. See if that builds. Ooh, I screwed something up. Oh, I got a typo. HTML, CSS. Oh no, I have no idea. I've done a little bit of JavaScript just from the fact that I used QTQML, and I would say JavaScript is fairly simple and similar to C++ syntax, which was kind of nice, but the lack of type safety made it really hard to recognize when there was errors in the code, and the application would run even with invalid code, which kind of just blew my mind. So from that perspective, JavaScript, boo. But I mean, everything on the internet seems to reuse JavaScript, so it probably wouldn't hurt to know it. And I can't tell you anything about PHP. Nothing. I heard it's kind of cool, but I don't know anything about it. Oh my god, people are okay. I gotta mute my phone. All right, my goal is to get this grid rendered at a minimum. Get window position, screen, calculate the center of the row so that we start rendering the rectangle, render the rectangle, and then we need to figure out where my typo is. Appears to be right here. Warning treated as an error. Local variable initialized but not used. That's fair. Why is that? Okay. All right. First try. Let's we didn't see that. We got begin drawing, clear background. Oh, I see what's wrong. Boom. We got a grid. Except it needs to be gray. No! No, don't spoil. No! Dang it. I didn't know it was going to be a good game. I chose to hang out with you guys. Did I make a mistake? Okay, so that's the C++ one. What does the Odin one look like? Why is the size different? Didn't I assign the same size? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Oh, nope. I definitely got it wrong. It needs to be 70. There we go. All right. I don't have this connected to a open, or I don't have it connected to a repo yet. It's just local, so I'll have to set up a repo. But that is where that's at, I think. I think that's gonna be a stopping point, because if I keep going, I'm gonna end up in the middle of something and then have to stop. So let's end that there. I'm trying to think if I've been working on with Briarthorn. I've been trying to figure out how I want to handle the drones, because I was just having all aircraft shoot missiles. But I think, actually, I can just hit play, can't I? Or maybe I can't. What's going on? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll show this real quick. It still needs a lot of work. I have grand plans for Briarthorn, but it needs a lot of work. So I've been working on Swarm here. Instead of shooting missiles, I want to be able to like have a drone fly out and shoot a laser. Now, I don't think this drone here will make it to its target in time, so it should fly back. Buffer, you're not helping. You're not helping. Yeah, okay, so he doesn't make it to his target in time. And then we got a SAM-site missile coming. And I don't know... I'm going to try and... Is that not working? Alright, so that doesn't even work. I'm going to try it again. Alright, so he's going to fly out and try and shoot a laser. And then when this missile gets close, I have a new defense. It's called... Wait for it. disperse, everyone fly in a different direction. And so it'll like try and latch on to a different drone. So I lose a drone, but I stay in the game. So it's a way to like keep your mission going without completely dying. So that's kind of where things are at here. And then I still have the ability to maybe. All right, we'll see what happens. I got to get in front of him. I don't know if this will work. I can do like a spin attack to try and detonate the missiles or survive the detonate the missiles, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what I've been working on, just trying to get unique abilities for the different classes that I've been building. It's really the only one I've really put any time and effort into. Ghost is just turning stealth and shooting missiles still, so he doesn't really do much yet. That's kind of where things are at with this right now. When am I gonna write libraries in Odin? Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I struggle with trying to decide because I've never written a game before, and so it's very easy for me to be like, and those who have been watching in the earlier days know that I've been back and forth with Briarthorn. I started in, what did I start with? Oh, I started in not Flutter, geez. I started in Godot. The problem with Godot for me was the heavy dependency on the Godot editor, and the Godot editor isn't very good from a like productivity workflow perspective. It was just kind of rough. And so I wanted to be able to make quick prototype progress without a bunch of point and clicking in the Godot editor. So I was like, oh, I'll just do pure C++. Well, the problem with just starting from scratch is it takes a lot of time and effort. And I want to be able to stream it, but sitting and watching a developer just head down coding, not unlike an interview, is not very entertaining. Like if I really wanted to sit and focus, I wouldn't be able to also talk with chat. I wouldn't be able to have a conversation. So that's raw, like C++ from scratch was kind of out of that. So then I swapped over to QTQML. And that was going well until a week or two ago. I was like, oh, let's throw this in WebAssembly. And I had to spend the time and effort to get Qt up and running in WebAssembly, get the Emscripten compiler, all of that set up, the Docker container. Excuse me. And it wasn't ready for stream, and I was like, crap. So now I'm using Flutter and Dart. And part of that was because I don't need to get anything up and running for it to just work. And it will also work in a browser. And all I have to do is swap to Chrome here, hit run. And I showed this off, was it Monday, I think? And this isn't my first Flutter app. I've been working for the past 2 years on a mobile app, which is the only reason I have any chance at success using Flutter, because I've already like spent the time and effort figuring out how to manage data and things like that in Flutter. But the goal was to also get this in a browser, because at some point I would love to put a demo online and have you guys try and break it. And maybe, I make no promises, but it would be cool to just have, like, as people enter and leave chat, you appear in this world to fight each other. And then if I can use chat to drive commands, then it would be cool for you guys to just like combat each other by typing. Now, I don't know what the implications of spam is with Twitch, so I don't know. But that's kind of where that's at. And then also with Flutter, without any more effort, I'm able to do this. And I thought if I can make the game usable enough on mobile, then it just gives me another surface to get into people's hands, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm at with Briarthorn right now. Lots of prototyping. Nothing's really concrete yet, so we'll see. I'll probably, like I said, it's tough. I hesitate to do just pure game development because I don't know how entertaining it is. Maybe I'll implement a feature here or there, or go over the code base and why I'm doing things the way I'm doing, kind of thing. But to just sit here for hours on end and typing, I don't. I'm still struggling with that. Yeah, the rendering is beautiful. The rendering from Flutter is just, it's like, it's one thing to use Raylib to get an application off the ground, but the amount of like aliasing and shader work that goes into rendering lines and text and scale and like vector graphics with Flutter is just, it's a different ball game. It's just completely beautiful. The graphics are amazing, even for 2D. You could type at 150 words a minute. That's insane. I can do. Wait, I can prove. We can just do this right now. I'll show you what I type at. Check this out. What is it? Monkey type dot. Is it Kong? Sure. Okay. Wait. I gotta get in the optimal typing position. Hang on. All right. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. I gotta. Okay. Here we go. You guys see that? All right. Ah, shoot. All right, I screwed up. I had to backspace, and I still did 112. That's not bad. That has to be above average, right? Has to be above average. Yeah, no, I mean, like, as a programmer, you need like what, maybe 60 at best. You spend more time, or I guess it's not. I do spend some time typing, but you spend a lot of time like designing and thinking too. Average is 50 to 60? Really? I didn't think it was that slow. Can I even do that? Can I even type that slow? Hang on. Can I? Let's see. How do you go to the next test? All right. I'm going to try and get 60. I have no idea how fast I'm going right now. This is like, this feels harder. Typing this slow is difficult. This might be too fast. Oh, no, I wasn't fast enough. Dang it. I was below average. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, shoot, I screwed up at the end. Dang it. I think I would have hit it. You can check on monkey type the global average. Not every person goes along. Press the eye. Wait, what? My political profile? That's not right. Oh, here we go. Total tests started 5 billion. Total typing time 1,300 years. Total tests completed. Wait. 5 billion tests started, but only 888 million tests completed. Jeez. Okay, so at least on monkey type, the average is about, or not the average, the median is about 60 to 70. And my understanding is like monkey type is like best case, right? Because there's no periods, there's no capitalization, there's no numbers or special characters, that kind of thing. I think I could still achieve at least 80 to 100 with actual sentences. I think. I don't know. Oh no, let's not, you know? Yeah, nah, we don't need to, you know what? We haven't done Wordle yet. Let's do Wordle. I always like to start with a new word. So let's do track. Not helpful. Not helpful at all. Wasn't. Dang it. Quest. Ooh, here we go. Ooh, okay. We should be able to put a good guess in here. Do Horsel while I'm at it? I've heard of Horsel. Someone brought it up last time. I am aware. I bet I could get it in one. Maybe. Oh, what if I type it wrong? What if I don't know how to spell horse? True blur. Jeff Goldblum. That's a Jeff Goldblum? Are you kidding me? I probably would get that wrong. I don't know if I know how to spell his name. Crew. Lure. Sure. Shurid. Lure, poor, lure. Your? Probably not. God, I don't. It's not. Gesture. Lured. Can't be a U. Pure. Spear. It's only 90% Jeff Goldblum? Oh no. That makes it worse. My luck, I'll be the 10%. Purist? Pure. No, it can't be you. Dang it. Glory. Your. Free. Is there a word where U comes after E? Doesn't seem like it. I can't even come up with a word that has these 3 letters. I mean, there's like letters that we haven't guessed yet. Pure. Purse. Oh, wait. Whatever. I don't know why I did that. I don't think that helped at all. That helped. Actually, it means that can't work. Erasure. What is this word? Feels like Wordle has been a little more difficult the past couple days or couple attempts. Future. Rule. But you can't go there. All right. I need to just knock out a bunch of letters. Like light 8. Ooh, horse might be a good. Oh, no, because no, horse would be a bad one. We've already ruled out RSE. I want to I feel like L why Okay. This is bad. This is bad. I'm not feeling confident about this one. I mean, it's still eliminated 4 letters, so that's good. My mind was thinking L was a part of it, but it's not. We know E can't be in the middle or at the end. E. And it can't be R or U. Exhume! Wait, is it literally exhume? No, it needs R. Dang it. I thought I had it. Oh no, is it under? That's a good guess. It might be under. Dang it. Good guess. Oh, it's not. Good guess, though. That was a really good guess. Under. No. R is at the end. E is not the last 3 letters. E and U. You can't be. What the hell is this word? Rudder? No. E can't be the last 3 letters. It could be here or here. X. U can't be those 2. What is this word? God, I really thought I had it in exhume. So could extrude? Nope, that's too long. What letters do we have left? FU? X. You don't see how D fits in the. Oh, I forgot we have a D. I forgot we have a D. You're right. D. E. U. How does R fit in this? Demure? Oh my god. If it's demure, I would never have guessed that. You might be right. Yeah, I think you're right. I would never have guessed this. Yeah, good guess. My mind was not on demure. I think the screw up was trying to guess with the third word. I probably should have tried to knock out more letters and then guessed on the fourth one, and that probably would have helped. All right, I got to see what this horsel. Like Wordle, but the word is always horse. Wait, does it not? Oh, you have to click? All right, guys. My implementation is already better than this because... Oh, I already got it wrong. Are you kidding me? Because I don't have to click the keyboard to play my version of Wordle. And I basically got it wrong. That's unbelievable. I typed it wrong. Oh, for those who weren't here earlier, check it out. We can now have interview discussions. All right. What is ooh, this is actually a really good interview question. What is the answer to 0.1 plus 0.2? Actually, it's not a good interview question, but it's a fun question. Or I'm trying to think. No, the real way to do it is, does 0.3 equal 0.1 plus 0.2? Right? Or to build off of this, why should you not do equality comparison with floating point numbers? Because of situations just like this. Because if this is false, then how can you rely on equality or general comparators of floating point precision in your code base? That's when you start to look into the simplest solution would be to like do epsilon comparisons, but there's more in-depth solutions to getting an accurate comparison of floating point numbers. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I just know it exists. And a lot of like unit testing frameworks provide that tool for you whenever you want to do like floating point comparisons in your unit tests. You make sure you use that API to get more good, more betterer comparisons of your floating point precision. That kind of thing. Oh man. This is why I can't. So I have a modeling simulation background. So this is why I can't condone accumulating time with floating point precision. So let's say you're trying to run something at 100 hertz. You have 0.01, right? And you're storing it. Well, on the next frame, you're now at 0.02. And then on the next frame, you're 0.03, so on, so forth, right? Well, eventually, over time, you get to a point where you're at like, oh, I'm at 2.99. Now, are you actually at 2.99? Or did the imprecise precision accumulate to 2.99 when you're actually supposed to be at 2.98? And in modeling and simulation, where timing is critical, this becomes a crazy bug because it's so subtle and it's hard to track down, because it's the difference of, like, let's say you're simulating fuel flow. It's the difference between deciding you have enough fuel to keep moving and you're on empty. So it's kind of crazy. That's why when I accumulate time, it's always an integer. And with modern C++, it's, at least for the stuff I'm doing, Chrono does just fine. But the other option, if you're only ever incrementing, is just use like uint64, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm excited to have this drawing tablet. Means I get to do stuff like that. Pretty cool. All right, guys. I've got a USA game to watch here in 45 minutes, and apparently some highlights to watch for the Belgium match. So I gotta check all that out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing the C++ Wordle. Maybe I'll clean it up a little or do it off stream so I have a video recording, because I do want to make a YouTube video. But I'll be honest, I'm kind of over Wordle at this point, implementing it. The next thing I think I want to do is use C++ to download chat, access Twitch APIs, download chat, and then be able to use that little tool to drive commands based on what you guys type. So we'll see. I'm still thinking about it. But all right, you guys take care. Have a good night. Bye. See ya.